Episode 1.
Welcome to Ctrl+C, the podcast where we discuss movies and what we thought about them. My name is Chris, hosting today's episode. Joining me is Lindsay, Ray, Teresa, and Kristen. Today we were discussing Tusk, the movie by wonderful director Kevin Smith, who has also influenced us in starting this own podcast. So guys, Tusk, what are your initial thoughts?
What the fuck did you make me watch? I'm sorry.
I watched it twice, okay?
I applaud you, Kristen, because holy shit.
And I actually did put my phone down and watched it again the second time going, maybe I'll get better. Maybe I'll get better. No.
So you guys seriously, like, it's just like negative all around mostly?
I mean,
I had one genuine laugh out loud moment.
Yeah. One.
In the whole damn movie.
which one?
It was towards the beginning when he meets the dude Howard Howe, or whatever his name was. He's talking about whatever safari he was on or something. And he says, "Who are you, Rudyard fucking Kipling?" And I genuinely laughed at that, but that was the last time I laughed for the entire movie.
After I watched the movie, it was probably a good 30 minutes before I could even speak. Because I was just...
But was that out of traumatization, or was it just a shock? Was it just that good?
Both. And I made my 56-year-old roommate watch it, and the whole time he kept going, "Teresa, what in God's name are you making me watch?" But
I'm with you.
The next day I went to work, and I'm like, I saw this movie last night, and you have to see it. It's like the most horrible movie I've ever seen, but you have to see it.
Why? That's what you told me too, but you started telling me little bits and pieces, and I immediately decided that I did not want to see this movie. And that was like, what, a year ago?
Probably.
Yeah, something about when it came down. See, for me, I think I have a very unique perspective now that I'm listening to you guys totally hating this movie. But it's the fact that I actually genuinely love this movie. Here's why. The movie is very, very falsely advertised as thriller horror. It is not. It is fucking dark comedy.
Yes.
And that's what it is. See, to me, it was just genuinely hilarious in how hysterical it was for him to have come up with this movie. Because do any of you guys know how the movie came to be? I know I've briefly talked about it to some of you in regards to what this movie got started. It started from one of his podcasts. It literally was somebody found an ad about some guy looking for an apartment, and in the apartment you could live rent-free. The only catch is that you had to dress as a walrus for one day out of the week. That was the catch. Months after, and this is after the movie got released, it comes out that this whole story was a facade. It wasn't an actual thing that happened. It was just somebody pulling a prank and that thought it'd be funny. But that's where the movie came from. He literally locked himself in a room and did nothing but smoke pot and write this movie for 7 days. And you can tell, and it's fucking wonderful.
Every moment of the, there were so many moments in that movie. The thing on the mantle, when he picks up the penis on the mantle,
the walrus dick.
That made me go in one whole direction. I thought the movie was definitely going in this one particular direction. And it was a very bad direction.
Yeah.
So to see that it didn't go in that direction and it went from a sexual thing to, no, I'm just going to kill the guy, it was a huge relief for me because I was like, how am I going to handle this if he actually copulates with this guy who's been walrified?
So I want to take a second because I actually took a picture on the Amazon Prime last night of the description of the movie, trying to figure out how you guys talked me into this madness. And it says, a chilling horror tale about the perils of storytelling. Tusk follows a brash American podcaster as he braves the Canadian wilds to interview an old man with an incredible past, only to discover the man's dark secret involves a walrus. Okay. More or less right? Except that it calls it a chilling horror tale, but then at the bottom it's listed as comedy and drama. So I feel like that in itself has completely just taken exactly what this movie was, where nobody knows what the hell is going on. No one knows what to classify it as, and because it's all over the place, it ended up being as bad as it was. At least for me.
But it was chilling.
It was disgusting.
I think we can agree.
I'm not sure chilling's the right word.
Chilling.
I definitely do not think it was a comedy.
No, I didn't even get dark comedy out of it.
There were funny parts in it, but that was about it. And even then, I would not say
That was the boot.
A boot.
The boot.
A boot.
It was a boot. I love how they made fun of the Canadian accent through the entire thing. Well, the funny thing is, okay,
Red,
so,
white, and never blue.
red, white, and it's wonderful. Like the TSA agent when he's coming into the whole thing,
my God.
dude, that guy's legitimately Canadian. Like he's really from Canada. Motherfucker's talking about a boot. Like really, it's wonderful. But yeah, that red, white. That's
Red,
just,
white, and blue.
I don't know. I guess it just makes me feel then that perhaps I'm just some crazy lunatic that finds this sort of thing hilarious.
No, but you're not, because I thought it was fun. I laughed when I was watching it, and I think it frightened my roommate because he's like, "What is the matter with you? This is not funny." I'm like, "This is funny." But I grew up as a kid when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. My mom would rent movies like The Toxic Avenger and Faces of Death for me to watch.
Faces of Death?
So I've always had this really twisted, weird sense of humor and fascinated by just really dark, weird stuff.
See, and I like to think that I do too, but this movie has proven me wrong. Like, I almost went and watched Daddy's Home with the Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg after
Yeah.
this just to cleanse my mental palate. Like, I need something stupid and idiotic after this, and actually funny.
Okay, I would kind of agree with you in terms of like cleansing your palate after the movie, because I think the first time we watched it when it first came out on DVD. What did we watch afterwards?
We watched a comedy.
Yeah, I think it was like some stand-up or something,
Yeah.
just to kind of switch it up, because the movie ended and we were literally just sat there, mouth agape, going, "What the
For like
fuck?"
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, not for that
Just trying to
long.
process.
So I'm the one who's fucked because
Well-
I didn't watch anything after that.
You watched Tinkerbell.
Oh, I did watch a little
Yeah,
bit
you
of
watched
Tinkerbell,
Tinkerbell.
that's right.
Nothing manlier after Tusk than Tinkerbell.
It's the easiest cleanse ever.
I mean, that movie was like, it's had its funny moments, yeah. Then I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Am I high? And
Yeah.
it's just like-
Well, the answer is yes. He was high.
I mean, he was. I guess I was too. Shit.
It kind of reminded me at certain points of that old 80s horror movie, April Fool's Day.
No idea.
You know, I don't think I've seen that one.
You haven't seen that
I don't
one?
think so.
It's really interesting because they take these people to this island and they keep mentally screwing with them on different levels. Like they take something from each person's personal experience and bring it out in an attempt to scare them. I didn't think it was scary. I thought it was fascinating. And then there's, this kind of twist at the end. But it was nothing that dramatic. But it just reminded me of that almost campy horror kind of thing.
I don't think I've seen that movie. I really haven't. But I don't know. I mean, I've never been a fan of horror movies, and I usually tend to find them to be a little more hysterical than anything else if I end up watching them. Period. That's why this whole endeavor would be very interesting, just for the simple fact that we made you watch Tusk. What movies are you guys gonna make me watch?
Listen, one of my notes that I made was I cannot wait for movie revenge. Like, I'm gonna find something that I love that I know you guys are gonna hate just to get back at you for this shit.
And that's okay, and I'll watch it. But you know what just came to mind is I was really hoping that eventually, if this pilot does air, that we would tag Kevin Smith and be like, "Hey, we reviewed your movie for our pilot episode."
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I feel bad because he gets criticized so much, but it's just I don't know. And I mean,
it's just because it's just so different. It's so off. It's totally off the wall. I do really think the way that they categorized it is probably one of the things that you go into expecting a drama, expecting the horror drama, the dark comedy, whatever it is. And then you watch it and you're like, yeah, that wasn't nearly what it was.
So they tag it like that to suck people in and
Yeah.
then give them this sucker punch of the fuck.
Yeah.
See, for me, honestly, a lot of the parts just dragged so much that not just because I didn't particularly like the movie, but I really felt like this would have been better as a short film.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I agree because I was telling them, I was watching, I was like, I'm sleepy. This is boring.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it anymore.
The whole sequence when they're at the diner or the fast food place with Johnny Depp, who looks like a French Woody Harrelson. Which
oh
is weird.
my god, that's the other thing.
Totally didn't recognize him.
Right? But, I mean, that whole thing where he's talking to them and telling them he's talking so freaking slow. And then you go to the flashback where he talks even slower. And I just wanted to crawl through the screen and shake him.
Then the whole lead up to once he's got him in the house.
Yeah.
and he starts doing these things to alter his body, I found myself like, okay, well, get to where you're getting. I was getting impatient to see what kind of sick fuckery laid around the corner.
And that's the other thing. Johnny Depp was freaking wonderful.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
We didn't recognize him right away when we watched it. So we sat there, we watched it the first time, and I was like, this fucker looks familiar. He looks familiar. Couldn't pinpoint it. Then I know I'm like, oh my God, it's Johnny Depp. She goes, what? It's like, it's Johnny Depp. We both didn't believe it until we looked it up and proved it. Because it was never part of, he never really like, oh, Johnny's in the movie. It wasn't really one, at least not that I know, not that I hear. And I hear his podcast on a weekly, regular, biblically, like, follow basis.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's just great. And like the one story that pops out from everything that I've heard about the movie and everything he's podcasted about it was his nose. Apparently he went there when Johnny had the prosthetic on, and Johnny was like, hey Kevin, look at this. What does this look like to you? And Kevin was like, what? He's like, it looks like a dick, doesn't it? And basically Johnny made sure that the artist who did the makeup artist that did the nose would make it look as much as a penis as possible. So if you look at his nose, there's actually like a little line in the front of it to kind of make it for
I
the
didn't
slit.
notice that.
Yeah, and I noticed it this time watching it around again because I knew what to look for, so I specifically looked for it. It's just freaking hilarious. I love Johnny in it though. He got involved because of his daughter, like I was telling Ray earlier too.
Oh, that's right. Wasn't his daughter one of the clerks at the convenience
Yes,
store?
his
And
daughter.
aren't they doing a spin-off now? The
Yes.
two clerks get their own movie?
Yoga Hosers.
Yes.
I'm very interested in. Yes, Lindsay, we are watching Yoga Hosers.
Listen,
It might be different.
I'm sure it will. Listen,
Different.
we all know that he can write a movie about two clerks behind a convenience
Yes.
store counter. So I'm not really concerned about whatever. Yoga Hosers?
Yoga Hosers, yeah.
Okay. I'll watch it.
It's
no
interesting.
problem.
So far from what we know, it's about Nazi winter schnitzels.
Oh, Jesus.
Wait. Nazi or not C?
No. That's the other thing about this damn movie. The Nazi party. I was like, what the fuck are you trying to spin down, Kevin? Like, what the hell? No, it's about wiener schnitzels that are like Hail Hitler.
What's a Wiener Schnitzel anyway?
It's just like little sausages.
Well, technically, the real Wiener Schnitzel is thinly pounded veal, breaded and fried
Thank you.
with gravy.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, chef.
Dang, chef. What happened to
Thank you, 2 years of high school German class.
For those of you not in the know, I'm a chef.
He never did the German, darn it.
I
forgive you.
Yeah. No, but so yeah, it's actually I'm looking forward to that one. Because I feel they were very good. Apparently, well, as with Kevin Smith movies, most of his movies get terrible critical acclaim. They don't get very good ratings in any way, shape, or form, and usually it's the diehard fans that watch it. Now, as a diehard fan, all the way back from freaking everything he's ever done, really, because I can't really pick a favorite. I'm dying to see it. That's gonna be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel it's going to be more fucked up than this one.
Really?
I honestly do.
How can you... I don't know how you can
don't
get
know.
more fucked up than stabbing a man with walrus tusks.
Listen, this one was so gross that I had the thought of, I really need to close my blinds so that my neighbors don't think I'm insane. And I got up and I went and closed my blinds. The next thought after that was, this movie might affect my friendship with these people.
What kind of weirdos am I friends
fortunately
with?
it's not.
No, it's not, obviously, but it was an actual thought that I had. I'm like, I no.
I don't think I know them as well as I thought I did.
Well, clearly we're crazy and we're insane
It's
and we
fine.
like fucked up shit.
Sure, why not?
No, it's definitely a unique show. I mean, there were parts I enjoyed, and then there was parts that I was just like, oh my god. And I really, when they talked about the mantle, the dick being a bone, I was like, please don't. I do not know if I can recover from going down that path.
When the guy comes out to meet Justin Long and he's in his own walrus suit, I'm like, oh god, please don't have that penis.
Oh my
please
God.
don't have that penis.
That was so hilarious. That's the part. Why? How is that not funny?
That was hilarious. And then the music playing, the song Tusk playing in the background with that like drum beat and that bass line, it was just this perfect choreography of sickness. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed every second of that scene.
Oh, it's fucking wonderful. I love it.
Now, when his leg is cut off first, and he's sitting there playing with this bone, is that his leg bone?
I think that's what they were implying. Is his tusks were carved from his leg bones.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically what
That's
we
what I was
saw
thinking
there
it
was
was.
him kind of sharpening and grinding down the bone to make the first tusk anyway. But the whole deal with the doctor and he'll be right back and this like that the guy was so twisted, and that's the thing, that actor's freaking amazing to play that freaking twisted.
Yes.
That goes without question, that goes without say, but I don't know. It's just one of those things that the monologues that he had in this movie, like Kevin specifically mentions, doing it for him because he saw this actor going into them, and they were just delivered perfectly. But it really is the ravings of a madman, of psychotic dude just on a rampage.
That was perfect casting, though.
It was.
They could not have picked a better actor for that.
Now, speaking of monologues, can we take a second and talk about the girlfriend?
In which regard?
The whole.
Because I mean, she was hot, but that's
Sure.
all the positive that I can think of, really.
Well, I guess I didn't understand what. So I was almost with her when she was having her little straight to camera monologue where she's crying, and she lost me with the "I'm so glad that my dad's not alive to see this," because I was like, that's a little extreme, chick. I mean, come on. But
she's Latina; they're allowed to do that.
Very true. Sorry.
From two Latino men, it happens.
I do
no
agree.
comments.
So what? Because
But
we're white, we wouldn't get it.
No, it just means that because you're white, you're a lot nicer. And this is why this pilot is now not going to air.
Edit.
Beep, beep.
I mean, I'm glad that I'm the one who does the edits on this. That's going to be edited out.
But I think so. She almost had me. She started to lose me at the dead dad thing. But as soon as Haley Joel Osment's fat fucking fingers touched her face, I'm like, you twat. How can you sit there and have this, what should have been a gorgeous crying monologue, while you're stupping the best friend?
Well, are they really? Because both of
Oh,
them
yeah,
have
they're
clothes
boning.
on.
No, they're
I mean,
boning.
They had
were.
to be.
He spent the night. He spent the night in her bed. They woke up. He was in her bed.
They were.
totally,
That
100%
does not mean
unequivocally
As soon as
boning.
dude got
Close
on the
friends.
airplane, Haley swooped in
Look,
and they were going at
Ray,
it.
that's a BS excuse that a 15-year-old tells his parents. All right.
Or, yeah. No, I'm with you, Chris. Nope, I'm with you.
Dude, it's a BS excuse that
It is.
15-year-olds tell their parents. They were totally 100% boning, all right? That is a complete given.
I mean, she
now,
was
the
said-
reason is because he apparently has been boning other people while he's on the road.
Right. But what I'm saying is she lost me when she's sitting there crying about what a dick he is and how much he's cheated on her and how much he's hurting her while she's sleeping with his best friend. Like,
No.
if you're cheating on him and he's cheating on you, maybe you should just suck it up and stop crying.
Well, I guess
But that's
the
just
point.
me.
Well, when I first saw it, I thought she was like, ooh, I was like, ooh, an actor or an actress. She's
Yeah.
doing a good role and she's like doing this. I'm like, and then the hand, I'm like, aw. I was very disappointed that actually was being said
Yeah.
about him because it was a really good actress role,
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why the dead dad? I don't understand.
So you kind of thought that she was like practicing for a role?
Yeah, like it was
I
something
thought she was
So like she was
actually-
like an aspiring actress, and
Actress,
she's trying to
yeah.
get got it.
I mean, that's what I thought I was going for, and then because
Oh,
I was like,
see, I
why
missed
would
that.
you
I
bring
didn't even think
your
of that.
dead dad into this and everything
Yeah.
like that? And then when I saw the hand, I was actually disappointed that it was about him. I was like, well,
I mean, we all know the answer. He was stoned.
yeah,
Kevin was
yeah.
stoned.
I thought it
Obviously.
was unrelated to the storyline, and I was kind of like, well, what is this? And then when I saw the hand, I was like, oh, you twat.
Now I will say one of my favorite actual like camera shots of the entire movie was when they were in the house and they were looking for him and they like looked over the staircase and had their guns pointed down towards the floor. And they were shot up towards them. That was one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie.
Oh crap! What was that line? Now that you brought up the guns, Johnny Depp pulls out the gun. He goes to give it to Haley Joel Osment. He's, here's the gun. No, I don't want guns. Turns around. He's like, "You're like the worst American, aren't you?" And that line was just, especially with everything going on lately, with all the debates about gun control and all that crap. That line was like the most perfect line that could have been in that movie. You don't want a gun? Oh, you're a terrible American. Forget you. Like, get out of here. But yeah, what about, I mean, that was one of my favorite scenes. I don't know, what aside, because I know you had the scene when he came out and was in the other Tusk garb.
It was the battle
battle
royale.
What about you, Ray?
Because
I know when he saw
like I'm trying to erase this thing from my memory. Please don't make me talk about it anymore.
No, because there was a part too when Ray turns around. You guys are terrible. And Ray turns around and he finally sees them like in the full Mr. Tusk, apparel. And he goes, wait, where did all that skin come from? And the realization that the skin to make this creature came from other victims as well.
That were at the bottom of the pool.
Yeah, it kind of fucked with him for a minute.
There's a face.
Like,
is that another face? Oh my god, that's another face.
He's like, holy shit, there's another face on it. It's like,
He's not the first one. Oh my god.
I think part of it was as disgusting as it was for me because of all the stitching.
Yes.
And all of the gross, bloody disgustingness. Because, I mean, let's take... the reality of what medically got accomplished in this movie out the window since...
Oh, you mean the complete lack of medical, like...
Because he'd be dead.
But he was a doctor.
And like, how does he poop
he'd be
now?
dead. Dude would be dead. That's just... He would be dead after the leg amputation. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Not in a home like that. No, thank you.
But with enough weed, anything is possible.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, I think that's, for me, was just the grossest part. And then, of course, the actual tusks with the whiskers and the drool and the slimy shit. And it was too much. Like, I don't like the icky stuff. I know that makes me, like, 12, but I don't like the icky stuff.
Well, it doesn't really make you 12. But see, here, with me, personally, I did not find the suit believable enough, which added to my whole comedic take on the whole deal. I literally took this entire deal, as just another joke of Kevin's, and loving his comedy just made me think of it even more, that this is just like a big fuck you. I am doing the most ridiculous fucking thing I can do in life.
The
Everything.
complete facial alteration to make him look so much like a walrus was just that. It was the whole nother level of ridiculous, and it made me love it even more.
But you see, and even then, I didn't find it disgusting because to me it didn't look real. It wasn't realistic enough for me to be like, oh my god, what are they doing? This is ridiculous. It just wasn't. It looked very fake to me from the get-go. But that kind of took me out of it in a sense, because I didn't find it that serious. I feel that the costume itself was more like of a better Halloween prop, or of a better Halloween costume than anything else. In reality, that's something that I'll wear for Halloween, but not something that I find realistic enough to be like, yeah, that looks like an actual Tusk. Especially because there is a scene in one of them where he's putting him underwater to teach him how cruel humanity can be. You can actually see him sliding back in the suit, and his head kind of...
His face moves away.
His face moves away from the rest of the suit, and you see the head kind of pop out like a turtle. So
I did laugh at that part.
I did too, because how could you not? Now, and it goes back to one of these things that in one of the podcasts Kevin does, they do this section called Things That Should Not Be, and it's the whole concept of, all these people work in movies, they should catch all these idiot, stupid mistakes, but somehow a lot of things get through. Kevin purposely put a whole mess of them in there.
Right.
There's a count of, I think it's like 64 or 80 something, that he's expecting people to find and email him about so that they can be released. I don't know if any have been found so far, because he hasn't really mentioned it.
And the whole movie's so ridiculous. You don't even know what's supposed to be there and what's not supposed
And
to be
that's
there.
part of the beauty of it.
Yes.
That's why I
So
enjoy
fucked up that
it.
You're like, wait, is this supposed to happen? Is this not?
I mean, even getting down to the end, because after they have the battle royale, and that ends. Sorry, I love that
Well,
scene.
that music is just wonderful.
The music is perfect. I've always loved that song. I love Fleetwood Mac, and that's always been one of my favorite songs. So imagine me watching this and then hearing the music start. I had a little thrill. I was like, oh, they're putting the song in there. Yes. And then he just starts impaling him over and over with these tusks. But after that, we kind of had this moment of, well, dang, what now? And then... how did you guys feel about the ending of the movie? Like his ultimate fate?
Listen, they could have left it with Johnny Depp raising the shotgun.
That's what I was thinking.
Cut off the movie right there. You don't know if he lives, you don't know if he dies, because you've already sat through this hour and a half of craziness.
I would have preferred that.
I would
Yeah.
have
Me
put
too.
two.
Because the ending of it, to me, it took
It took away from it.
It took it from like the perfect level of ridiculousness to now you've jumped the shark or the walrus, as the case may be.
Well done.
And it was like, really? You should have just ended it, a little while ago.
And see that actually, the last scene where he comes out of the little hovel that he's in irked me as well, because it's still gross. Why is he still bloodily stitched together? Like, why hasn't he healed?
If you love him so much and you guys care about him so much, why are you letting him live in this run-down looking shantytown animal park? Why are you not taking better care of him? You're just coming and chucking Slurpees at him every once in a while. And
But you know what? But they brought him food.
But I do have a confession. I did tear up.
I did not.
When the walrus
You teared up when the movie started.
Yes, I did.
Why am I watching this? No.
I did tear up.
When it was over, she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy."
Thank God.
Thank God.
I agree with the fact that the movie should have ended with Johnny bringing up the shotgun. That would have been a more natural end in my perspective. It really would have. I don't know why they didn't. Why they went forward.
Maybe we should ask him.
We
Dear
should.
Mr. Smith.
That would involve posting this.
And
I love the guy too much to be like, we thought your movie sucked, but I personally loved it.
Two of us liked it. We can't account for the rest of the yahoos we hang out with.
I mean, but that's not a bad ratio, though. 2 out of 5 people like Kevin Smith movies. I think that's pretty good.
And
Well,
I
now
think
listen. I like Kevin Smith movies. I just didn't like this one.
But I think
Yeah.
he would enjoy knowing that the movie was provocative enough to elicit the kind of response that Lindsay has had to the movie. He would probably be like, yes, mission accomplished. I have
You know
loved her
what?
for life.
You know what? I would.
I would.
If I wrote a movie fucked up like this, I would totally be like, oh, your movie gave me nightmares. Sweet. Awesome. I appreciate it. Hope you go to the next one.
Yeah.
And see,
I did my job.
the gross factor of it, it didn't bother me, not because it was fake, but because that kind of stuff has always fascinated me. I don't like horror movies. I try not to watch them if at all possible, but when I do watch them, I'm always the one afterwards going, they really should have done this, and it would have been better to do this. I want maximum mindfuck with scary things, like we were talking about earlier with The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. There's so much that I feel like people leave out, and I like that Kevin Smith kind of went there with this movie. It's like, okay, no holds barred. We're just going to go forward and see what kind of melee we can create.
Well, I mean, he's talked a lot about how he tried what he tried when he was younger. He's tried to do what other people wanted him to do, but that ultimately didn't feel him. He never went through his experimental stage, as he calls it. Mm-hmm. So now he's going through his experimental stage. You also got to take into consideration the movie. He made this movie, I think it was with like 1.5, 3 million. It was no more than $3 million. Like, what major picture can come out and say that they did their movie for $3 million? Now, the bad part
One of
about
the
it is
ones
that
I'm going to make you watch.
That's fine, and I'll be there. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think it's a great job. I think you should be proud. But yeah, it's definitely not for everybody, and that's what he says. The movies he makes are not going to be for everybody. They're going to be basically for those diehard fans that like him, those people who are willing to take the risk with him and for him. But ultimately, it's going to be completely different than what he's done. Now, with that said, though, he is working on Mallrats 3, and that's going to be great.
Confession time. I've never seen Mallrats.
Same here.
I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Secondary
So I guess we're going to watch
confession,
Mallrats.
I've never seen Clerks.
I have seen Clerks.
I have to say the same thing.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so it's a wonderful thing because now we have 3 more movies that we're going to review at some point in the
Ever
future.
expanding, and don't forget the Toxic Avenger. I mean, I am going to make you guys watch that.
Well, that's fine. We'll be happy to watch it. I mean,
Lindsay, I
At this
apologize
point-
in advance.
I'm going to be absent that day.
I'm gonna have the
it's
flu.
okay. We'll give her a call and we'll get her by phone. Get your opinion on a dial-in.
She has an iPhone. FaceTime.
Well, we can plug her into the board. We'll hear you
I can't
crystal
afford my
clear.
cell phone bill anymore.
You have
Sorry,
a
guys.
work cell phone.
I'm not paying for that. No, but I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, I don't know what else I can say in terms of I liked it. I mean, I will tell you what I didn't like. I did not like the whole the up and down, because it really was up and down. It was like really interesting, really drawing you in, and then out of nowhere it just drops, and it's just bleh, for the rest, like for the next 15 minutes or so, and then out of nowhere you're expected to pay attention again. It's like, dude, I'm sorry, I was looking at my phone for the last 15 minutes because you lost me for this,
right.
couple of minutes.
And that's why I said I think it would have been better as a short film.
Yep.
You could cut out like half
Somebody
of it.
explain to me what the hell was that scene in the freaking store with the clerks? Talk about, no, you give him the notepad. No, you give him the
Oh my
notepad.
god, yeah. That,
Like, what
do you
was
guys
that
get
about?
that exchange? It's basically like the Delapont comes into the store trying to find the Jason Biggs character. Is that his name?
No, Justin
Justin
Long.
Long.
Justin Long. Jesus Christ.
What?
Jason.
I know who Jason Biggs is now. I had a lapse of judgment and
Remotely
character.
the same person.
I know, Jesus
Go
Christ.
home. Oh, wait, you go home.
Yeah, we're doing this at my house. But no, they're trying to find him, and then Delapont, they tell him, oh, he wrote down an address. So he goes, oh, I'm going to need that pad.
Right.
So then he goes to the clerks, give me that pad, and then the two clerks go, you get the pad. No, you get the pad. No, you get the pad. And then the last one who says, you get the pad, ends up getting it.
That's what we're talking about. What the hell was the point of that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just iterating what happened, what the scene was for anybody
I
who
think the point of
is
it was
confused.
just to get Johnny Depp's kid and
Kevin
Kevin's
Time in the
and
movie?
Kevin's daughter Harley in the movie.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think they were great. They're actually the main characters in Yoga Hosers.
Yeah.
I thought it was really sweet. I was like, oh, they've got their kids.
Well, that's the thing. Kevin Smith loves putting his family, his friends, everybody in the movie. His wife was in the movie too. She was the waitress when Delapont is ordering all those burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
She's the one who's like, and this, yeah, that's mine too. And this, yeah, that's mine too. That's his wife. You would have never guessed it just by looking at her, but
Alcohol in a milkshake. We have to try that.
oh yes, that's the biggest thing Ray took away from that scene.
Isn't that just a mudslide?
Just go to
that's what I
M
said.
That's exactly what she said.
Yeah, go
It's
to
like,
M
it's
Shack.
like a
Get 'em all day long.
mudslide. Oh,
Where?
M Shack.
I have no idea what this M Shack is.
It's a burger joint.
You know what? Screw it. Let's pause this.
Go to M Shack.
So yeah, no, it was twisted. It really was twisted, and it's just going to continue to get twisted until he comes out with the movies that that people are expecting him to be funny for. But in the meantime, he's gonna continue to come out with twisted crap because there's Yoga Hosers that's coming out. There's also another one that he has on a schedule called Moose Jaws, which is basically Jaws with a moose.
I was about to say moose jaws, as
Moose
in
Jaws, as in yeah. I don't know which is more accurate. I don't know which is a more accurate noise for it, but
Moose
yes,
Jaws.
Moose Jaws. The way he describes it is Jaws with a moose. I'm assuming that at some point the moose is going
cannot
to
be- this
eat
cannot
part
be
of a
worse than
boat.
Tusk.
This cannot be what we're
This moose is going to go
This cannot be worse
stampeding
than
through the
Tusk.
Canadian
through the
wilderness.
Canarian
feeling it will
border
eat
or something.
campers.
Eventually, they're going to kill him by shooting an air tank that.
And
for
is
some-
it going to be an amphibious moose jaw? That makes me think
think I'll be out of
that's
the
too close to
country when
Moose
that comes
Knuckle,
out.
which brings me to a whole other movie.
What happened?
So
Repeat that.
confused.
You said moose jaw, so the more I say moose jaw, I just think of Moose Knuckle, which makes me think of
Camel
Jaws
toes?
and
Camel
a
toe.
giant camel toe. There's a movie called Teeth about a woman
No.
who actually has teeth
Yes.
down there. So whenever she feels
I've heard about that
uncomfortable
movie.
or threatened, it bites the guy's penis off.
Yes.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Teeth.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
out there.
Have you never heard of this movie?
I had never heard of it. I've never
heard of it.
seen it. I've never. Oh, we're gonna do some. We gotta do a review
I
on
haven't
that
seen
movie.
it just because.
We're gonna have to talk. No, seriously.
It's one of
We're
those.
gonna have to talk.
It's
about
one of
that
those like
movie.
low budget master of horror series, like Jennifer and the really weird off the wall ones, and those are usually the sickest, most twisted, best horror movies. Are those little student low rate independent ones?
I want to see this movie so bad now.
Teeth.
teeth. They made fun of it.
Is it like very graphic, or is it just like
I haven't
she
seen
has
it
teeth
yet.
down there, and then that's all you know, but they never like show
The only scene that I've actually seen, the scene that I've seen, is
the scene that you see, but the Nazi party.
Yes, Wiener Schnitzel. The guy's Wiener Schnitzel falls out from between her legs because she had bitten it off, and it it falls out.
Yeah.
A moment of silence.
I think I'm gonna pass.
It's a moment of silence for our fallen brethren.
Pour one out for
So
the
can
Wiener
we all
Schnitzel.
like have like a like a yearly veto? Like I refuse to review this movie with you guys. I'm very sorry.
Right?
This is my
Watch
veto.
I'm not doing it. You can't make me.
I mean, the beautiful thing about this and what we're doing this is to discuss what we love,
Yes.
but also what we hate.
Yes.
And that's why, like in this particular case, 3 out of 5 hate it. The other 2 find it hilarious. And that's what's going to keep the momentum going, and that's what's going to keep conversation going, kind of like it has right now. We go back and forth as to how stupid some of these things were, but we go back to the fact that some of these things were fucking brilliant and just hysterical. I mean, nobody but Kevin Smith would make a room full of fucking penises.
It's true.
Like it's just a Kevin Smith thing. If it's a joke about a penis, 9 times out of 10, Kevin Smith made it.
I adore Kevin Smith.
I want to meet him so bad.
I know. The two of you have such hard-ons for him.
I
love that about you.
I
But
want to cuddle him and snuggle him, especially his character from Catch and Release.
You know, I've never seen that one.
I absolutely fell in love even more with Kevin Smith when I saw Catch and Release. It is a complete chick flick, tear-jerking, dramatic movie, but I just completely fell in love with him in that movie. Just
what
because
movies?
of his...
I mean, you keep saying Catch and Release. I know
It's
that's
got
the
Jennifer
movie.
Garner.
I don't know.
I think it came out like maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
No idea.
I've never seen it. I'm
Her
going
husband
to look
dies
it up right
and
now.
she basically ends up rooming with his friends, and they kind of take care of each other and through her grieving process. And
Nope. Never heard of it.
Okay, Catch and Release came out in 2006 and it's described as a comedy drama indie film. That sounds like a mouthload. Yes, 2006. 10 years.
A mouth load, huh?
That's what she
It does sound like a mouthload.
well, it was really
Leave it
fat
to a
Kevin
Kevin Smith movie to be a mouth. We're apparently talking about mouthloads all day today.
It was pre-Southwest Kevin, so
Was it pre-Southwest Kevin?
it's got big Kevin.
Well, yeah, because he's now lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, he's not
Basically, he
evil
cut.
Kevin.
Basically, all he's cut out is sugar. He cut out sugar completely, and he walks his dog. That's pretty much all he does.
You know, when I was
for
getting
him.
ready to take my first plane trip out to Austin, it was 2 days before I left was when he got kicked off that Southwest flight, and I had such fear and anxiety. And I was sitting in the Orlando airport at 6 o'clock in the morning. My flight didn't leave till 9, but I wanted to be sure I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, they're going to Kevin Smith me and kick me off the airplane. I'm going to be stuck in Texas.
Kevin
No,
Smith.
God.
You made him into a verb.
But yeah, back to Catch and Release. I mean, it's got, as usual with anything that Kevin is in, unfortunately, Rotten Tomatoes scored 21. It's got a 6 out of 10 in IMDb and a 43 in Metacritic.
I loved it.
I've never
And it's
seen
got, what is that actress's name? I typically can't stand her in much that she does.
Let me see. Trying to look up the
She was
cast.
in Natural Born Killers. Are you flirting with me?
Juliette Lewis.
Yes, she's in it.
What's the premise again? It's some dude moves in.
Jennifer Garner's husband dies, and she ends up rooming with his best friends. One of them is like a womanizer, and then there's Kevin Smith, and it
Wait, Kevin plays the womanizer?
No.
Oh, okay.
Womanizer and Kevin Smith.
Oh, got it.
So it's like following. It's like the aftermath of his death and how their relationships change, and there's a couple of serious tearjerker moments in there and a couple funny moments, but I thought it was a pretty well-rounded, quite enjoyable film.
Well, I'm gonna have to check it out. Maybe one of those movies that we're just adding to the roster of everything that we're gonna review, and basically
making notes of
review.
this.
I know. Well, Lindsay,
I took notes on
because
the
she's
movie.
more organized than everybody else in this particular panel, she should be taking notes, and she's so good that I can guarantee you that she's already taken those notes already.
Release.
Even as
Something
you
about a
speak.
movie.
Even as we speak, these notes are being written down to make sure that we
Right.
And if it
go
were
back
if it
and
were
do
left
these
up to me,
movies.
I'd be like moose knuckles, teeth, what?
There's a well, I mean, I'm running the board. My mind is busy on sound levels and this and that and you know and
Cece's changing the baby.
There's a baby being changed and everything.
Raymond's cuddling the dog.
That's right.
Everybody's taking care of my babies.
And I'm just sitting here being awesome.
That is a full-time job, though.
Yes, it is.
It's a, do you know how exerting it can be to be the one to be like, yep, I'm awesome.
Right here on the corner of Awesome and Bomb Diggity.
Oh, God. That is way too funny. So, anything that you would have rather be seen different? So we have the whole movie should have ended with Johnny raising the shotgun. Anything else that you've seen in this movie that you want to change or think would have been better done otherwise?
Everything.
Okay, I have something legit.
Let's point out that Ray raised his hand.
Yes.
Like a good boy.
I have something legit.
Teresa follows. Go
What
ahead.
I was hoping to see while the movie was playing is I wanted Justin Long to just go crazy
wanna
walrus
see his Long?
stabby on the girlfriend and his best friend. Like, you two have been screwing each other. It's like he knew. I wanted him to kill both of them.
That actually would have been kind of cool.
Would have been
What
awesome.
the last scene where he's actually in the animal pit and he sees them together?
No, I wanted him to kill them right then.
So when they walked in and they saw him for the first time, she wanted it to be a little bit more of an altercation
total
that ended in
walrus
them being
rampage.
completely obliterated.
What was going through his mind when he saw them there? Like, you know how he went all crazy? Like,
Yeah.
Like, was he asking to be killed or like?
See, that's the impression I got was,
That's what I was trying
please
to
for the
figure
love
out.
of God, kill me.
Put me out of my misery.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I felt
Or
bad.
was
I
he,
felt
like,
bad for
pissed 'cause he saw
him.
them together. I don't know.
But I did hope. I hoped up until the very last moment of the movie. God, please let him kill him.
Because that is definitely no way to live whatsoever.
No, I wanted him to kill the girlfriend and the best friend.
No, she wanted revenge before he got
Revenge.
his.
Yeah,
his
I wanted a revenge
satisfaction.
killing. Like, you sent me off. You sent me off to go find these crazy people and the lightsaber kid that killed himself because people made fun of him.
That's probably why he always wanted
You
to
keep
stay
sending
back.
me off because you're claiming that you're agoraphobic or you don't like to travel or whatever. No, you want to shut up my girlfriend.
Leave the court alone.
Sorry, I'm fidgety.
We're gonna get you one of those toys for the ADHD kids that they
Yes.
can crumble. And,
Hey, I am
and
an
turn.
ADHD kid.
One of those that don't make noise, but you can still mess with as we're
Get her
recording.
a little
That's-
Rubik's Cube or something.
Yeah,
those go
no.
click, 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 click.
They have
Did you
some.
what now?
Click, 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 click.
One more time, just to make sure we got it.
The audience.
I'm going to
thanks,
turn
too.
that. This is now going to be a ringtone. So go visit our website. This ringtone will be 99 cents. No, I mean, I don't know. I think we've covered basically everything we can about this movie. There's nothing. The only thing I would like to see change is we've covered. It's just be a shorter movie. There was a lot of dead air, a lot of things that weren't needed. Definitely the monologues were needed. That was needed. That set up such the atmosphere. The entire atmosphere was set by those deals. But no, aside from that, that's basically the only thing I would change. Though I would have liked to see the TSA guy because he's the guy from Epic Mealtime on YouTube where they put bacon on bacon and then roast it with bacon.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's a lot of bacon.
Yeah, there's a lot of bacon. It's awesome. But the show is called Epic Mealtime. Harvey something. I can't remember his last name. I think it's like Weinstein or something. But yeah, he should have had a better role. But I think he's going to have a bigger role in Yoga Hosers. But Johnny Depp is going to be back on that one as well. He is in that one too.
Harley Morenstein.
Harley Morenstein. Thank you. Faster with the YouTubes than with the Googles than I was.
That's what I'm here for.
That is what
She's
you're for.
clearly the brains of the group.
Gee, thanks. I love you.
I'm not saying that though. Sorry.
Thanks, guys. Gotta be good for something.
Wait till it's your episode to host. Then we're gonna say and the
Yeah, that's gonna be me. I'm not looking forward to hosting because So tell me what you guys thought.
Well, that's how we started this one.
Yeah, that is
Worked out really well.
isn't it?
So,
I mean,
what are your
and the
thoughts?
reality is we did 3 takes before I got the intro correct. And then even then I'm still not happy with it, so I'm gonna rework that. Then we did a take where Cece did my intro because she had no clue we were
See,
recording.
I think you should leave that one. Just leave it.
I already clipped it.
Oh.
I should have just recorded and edited it out later. And that's one of the things that I think I'm going to end up doing is we can grab and just leave all the mistakes in there and then edit them out and then have a blooper episode.
That'll work. That's right. You tell them.
See, even he didn't enjoy the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god! So I do have to say this. This is hilarious. As we're watching this movie, he is like, he can't watch this. And he turns him
Oh my
away.
God,
and
that was so funny.
Because he's a
I
baby.
kept turning the baby. I'm like, dude, the baby. You ain't gonna pay attention to this shit.
You don't know.
He's not gonna watch
This shit
show.
could traumatize him,
You
dude.
don't know. When he turns like 9, 10 years old, they can take him to SeaWorld and he can have a complete flip out right there in the Seymour show.
So yeah, so if he's at the walrus or the walruses, he'll know exactly why.
If he starts screaming,
And that's-
Seymour
and
comes
that's
out
what
on
I'm
stage,
trying to
you'll know
avoid.
Why?
There's a very famous meme now on the line that it says kids these days have it very easy because back in my day, all these toys didn't come back to play; they came back to kill.
Yes.
With freaking Chucky. Chucky
Yes,
started it all.
I saw that one.
I don't know how old you were when you watched Chucky, and I know that psychologically speaking, per every textbook, whatever, you don't start formulating memories until you're like 4 or 5 years old. But even then, how many kids saw Chucky when they were younger and ended up being traumatized by it? You know what I mean? And some kids who didn't even know what Chucky was still don't like dolls because of something like that. So yes, I'm going to turn my son around when a random weird ass stitched up fucking walrus comes on the screen. Because even though it's fake and I know that it's completely, and I told it and I said it, the costume to me is not realistic enough for me to buy it.
It wasn't.
But it could still traumatize a kid. Like, it is definitely not meant to be seen.
Listen, I was
by
in
kids.
middle school when Chucky came out, and it traumatized the hell out of me.
I don't
I was
remember
trying to
how old
remember
I
how
was,
old
but
I was.
I mean, my brother had the My Buddy doll and everything, and I was not having any of it.
87?
I watched the commercials, the previews on TV. I flipped out because I had a girl doll that looked exactly like Chucky.
Did you have a kid sister?
I did. I had a kid
Nice.
sister, and she went into the corner. I locked that door and slept in my mommy's bedroom.
See, those kinds of movies never freaked me out. It was stuff like Children of the Corn that got me.
Outlander.
Like the
we
creepy
have
psychological
your
type
woman.
ones. Where you got the people just standing around staring at you all.
I don't
Weird.
like. I don't like the dead kids. Like the
Yeah.
anything that involves dead kids or clowns or
Oh, yes.
ghosty things.
Teresa's
You
Fear
gotta
of
watch
Clowns
It.
is
You gotta
well
watch
known.
It.
There was. I remember,
Oh yeah,
I've
no,
already seen
she. You've seen
No,
it,
the
so
remake.
then.
I think they
Well,
did the
since you're
remake.
terrified of clowns, we won't make you rewatch it. But if you remember it or read up on it, and then we can talk about it.
I've read it. I've actually watched it twice. I made myself watch it last time it came on TV.
That's not bad. And to answer your question, Chucky's original release date was November 9th, 1988. It came out as Child's Play, but it has
right.
been basically redubbed Chucky because it's what people familiarize themselves with. But so it came out in '88, which means I essentially watched it when I was 4 to 5 years old, which is again what I just said. You start making memories. So yeah, I know. And then the worst part is I wasn't in this country, so I watched it in Spanish.
Yeah, that's even worse. I can tell you that's even worse.
Mátalo. It's just one of those that watching things in another language gives it a completely different perspective. And that's, you know what, we should watch Tusk in Spanish.
Oh my God, no, please don't.
No, we should
No.
watch. We should watch
we
it
can do
like
something
in
else. We
German.
can do something else. Please, please, please.
If you watch it in another language, you need to watch
quit
it in
with you.
German or something with lots of.
Oh no!
But then it's just going to sound like people are spitting the entire
Yeah,
movie.
well.
Now I might be able to watch Tusk in German.
You know what? I might be able to watch it if it was in like Japanese or Mandarin or something.
That'd be
then
fun.
I think it would be funny to me.
Because all you would get is like. And
And we have now offended 2 different races.
Wow.
We will have
Three.
no
We've
listeners.
offended 3. We've offended the Hispanic women, the Germans, and the
Japanese.
Pan Asians.
Look,
Japanese.
Hispanic women cannot be
And
offended.
now the Asian.
Hispanic women cannot be offended when 2 Hispanic men called them out on this show. All right. But
That's
this
not being
episode,
racist, that's
this
just being
episode will
real.
not air. Me and Lindsay were discussing whether we were going to let the episode air or not. We were thinking maybe down the road when we have listeners, we'll make it like an anniversary thing. Maybe not even then.
Maybe not even.
Or I'll release it and it'll be like, yeah, so we're discussing Tusk and beep 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 beep.
I got the perfect idea on our Last episode ever. This was our first episode.
Here you go, fuckers.
Fuck you all.
And
Thanks for listening throughout the years.
it'll be like in that movie Half Baked. Fuck you,
you,
you're
you.
cool, fuck you, I'm out.
That movie was awesome.
It was. So,
All right.
final thoughts, anybody?
Thank God I don't have to think about this ever again.
For real. It's out. Over with.
Tinkerbell helped.
I think they should do a part 2 where he
Oh
escapes
my
the kiddie
God,
pool.
no. What is wrong with her?
Then he goes and kills the girlfriend and the best friend.
You just
And
really
he-
want them to be
He
dead.
goes on
I
a killing
do.
But
rampage.
why? Like, okay, I get it. It's his best friend, whatever. He's stupid his girlfriend. He was still cheating on her. So it's not like he's innocent.
This is the question now, though. Who was shitting on who? Because, yeah, he was going on trips and he was doing it. But was she doing it first? Because she was...
So you're thinking
Think
that
about
they could have started first
My-
and then
my
he's doing it because
impression-
she's doing it?
Yeah.
My impression was that
But it could be the other
part
way.
of the reason is that the reason that he was getting sent out on these
That's what I'm
things
saying.
was,
'Cause he
so
was-
they could get together and do their thing.
Because the dude wasn't...
Well, yeah, I guess I do see that to an extent too. I mean, that is a possibility. Unfortunately, we just don't know. So I guess in that perspective, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
fucking
because he talked about his
kill
friend was
them all.
weird about traveling with and whatnot. But
yeah, and
it
it's
was to
because
be with his girl.
he would be
Yeah.
mad because
So
she wouldn't
started
be
it.
there. So yeah, now you got a point.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were to pick a bad guy in that scenario, I think it's really just the other guy, his best friend.
Yep. Oh,
Because
definitely.
yeah, Haley Joel, I think that he would be the bad guy because in that respect, I think that yes, he could have been or probably was the one who orchestrated the whole deal of
He broke
no,
the bro code.
exactly. He's the one who
Yeah.
initially broke the
At
code.
one point, I started thinking they planted the whole thing. Like for him to travel to Canada and stuff.
There's a twist.
Yeah, that's what I
So you're saying that you originally thought that he planned them to be kidnapped and
Yep, that's what I was
that
thinking.
would have been an
Interesting.
That
amazing
would've
twist.
been.
That would have changed the movie. And I think at that point with Lindsay's face, she might have enjoyed it.
Yeah, I
a
might
little
have
more.
liked that a lot better.
She's like, okay, I'm going back.
Okay, Ray, we're gonna need you to
I
get a
have
hold
to
of Kevin
watch this
Smith and
through
start
new
helping him,
eyes.
right?
Kevin.
I live in Jacksonville, Florida. Call me.
Here's my number, 666.
Dear Mr. Smith, we have questions.
No, so at that point it would be like, dear Mr. Smith, my name is Ray. Or Ray Raylicious.
Array?
No,
Not array.
my name is Ray. A ray of sunshine on your crown.
Array.
I forgot the other joke I was gonna make. Fuck you guys.
But yeah, that's what I was thinking when the whole thing was happening.
And we lost her.
We lost her. We lost her
Ladies
completely.
and gentlemen,
Go ahead and
she's
cut the
gone.
mic so that nobody hears her snorting.
Actually, no. I want her to come up right up to the mic and snort so we can.
All I can think now is Ray, Arisa, Orenzi.
Oh, that is awesome. Oh, God.
Aris.
All
Do
right.
commercials.
And I believe with that about wraps it up. Thank you for joining us today on Ctrl+C where we discuss Tusk. This is Chris signing off. Lindsay, Ray,
Here.
Teresa, Chris, Arisa, and Ariston.
And a Rinzy.
Thank you for joining us. If you like this, please check out our website at geekendcast.com. Make sure to check us out on iTunes and SoundCloud. Have a good evening.